three.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to this great match we're going to be watching. My name is Paul Potier, and with me is my student and friend Christian, and we're going to be doing some commentary on this match, which was actually filmed in 2002. This is a match between Takahashi, who's #1 player in Japan at the time, and myself, Paul Potier. And it's in the pool room called Shibuya-Q in Shibuya, which is a city in Greater Tokyo. And this is probably the most famous, long, many years tournament that used to be called the Hustler Open, and then just recently has been called the Kanto Open. Recently, as in the 2002 time, not 2011, which is now. And so we're going to be doing this commentary in a way a little different than normal commentary, in that this is just a tool that I'm using to help coach Christian into being a better player. And I think that this is a very good way for him to see the top level play from my perspective, and I'll be asking him lots of questions. So this is the first game of a race to 7 in the finals. There's probably around 400 players in this event, so it was a really big event. 3 floors of pool tables, and the pockets are fairly large, but the table play is pretty good, and it's a handicap event. So even though this is a race to 7 in the finals, the rest of the matches throughout the 3 days of this event were the top pros went to 6, and then very, very high level amateurs went to 5, and then everybody else went to 4. Up until last year, supposedly the last year before this number is 2001, all winners were all top amateurs in Japan. Pro never won it. And then last year, 2001, was won by Park from Korea, and then this particular year, 2002, I won it. So we're going to start now going over this, and we'll come back to different things like that later. So Christian, what do you see so far?
Well, so far I see that you keep yourself in a pretty good form. They have been getting to the table and analyzing your possibilities, taking a good time for each shot, which really goes into the fundamentals that I have learned so far, or that you have taught me so far.
You notice that the very first shot I played, I actually missed the ball. The one ball doubled up in that pocket and went to the other corner pocket. Now then afterwards, you didn't seem affected by it, though. Do you notice anything that could be of help to you in the future from that particular shot?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's very important not to drag down your emotions from one failed shot, but to get full of positive emotions, to get your confidence back up, and see that as an opportunity to learn where did you miss and how you missed, and just fix it rather than get dragged down by it.
Correct. Right, and that's amateurs and sometimes pros as well just beat themselves up when they shouldn't be. So their confidence starts going down. They become their own worst enemy. It's no shame to miss a ball and then get lucky with it. That's going to happen to you as well as from you. So right now it's 1-0 for the Canadian versus the Japanese. And you see what I'm doing there?
Yeah. You seem to be inspecting the rack. What are you looking for?
That's a very good question. I'm just trying to make sure that the one ball is frozen to the first 2 balls. I want to know where the one ball is spotted on the spot, whether it's high, low, or in the center. And it's not that I'm actually going to necessarily ask the referee to re-rack it if I don't like it. It just gives me an opportunity to know where I should break from then. Mm-hmm. So if the one ball is not frozen to the ball on the left, I would break from the other side of the table. So I'd break from, like, for example, where I am standing right now is where I would break from if the one ball is not frozen to the ball on the left. If it's not frozen to the ball on the right, same size as where I am, I'll go to break from the other side. I noticed that I can get a much better spread that way. I'm cracking into the balls.
Oh, I see. Nice. So to summarize, you usually break from the side where the balls are actually frozen.
Well, we'd like them to be frozen on both sides, obviously.
Right.
I mean, either a referee or a professional should be giving you a very good rack, and to all players that would mean that the one ball should be frozen to the two front balls at the very least, and then try and get everything else tight, but you can't always be sure of that. Here I'm trying to play a safety. I don't hit it as good as I want to. I really wanted to stop the ball, but the speed that I hit it at was harder to hold the ball, and I still got a snooker. It just wasn't as good as I wanted to.
Yeah, it would have been ideal to have it frozen to that 3 probably.
Right. Now that I do have a wall of balls there that it did hide behind, and Kunihiko Takahashi is looking. It doesn't look like he's actually looking for all of his options, though, does it? It looks like he's already determined
Yes.
he's going to play a masse, and that's it. Now he's just trying to see that masse. It doesn't look that way.
Yes, he didn't look at any options. He didn't consider 1 or 2 rails kicks or anything like that.
Jump shot or anything, did he?
No.
And what did you see about the way he hit that shot there?
The masse was with no conviction at all. It was poorly executed, and it seemed like he simply poked at the ball. He did not stroke through the ball as he should have.
Right, or even maybe not even have played a masse.
Oh yeah, that for sure. I'm convinced that he should have just kicked it, because with the masse, what were his intentions, to actually cut it into the left corner? That seemed a very irreal shot.
No, but I'm glad you brought that up, because I see what he was seeing, and that is he's going to masse around the ball and then hit the one ball on the right-hand side, spreading both balls where the 9 ball could hide both balls on him. So that was going to be a better chance of leaving it safe for me than trying to go kick off the 2 rails, which was difficult to find a safety from that.
Right, but he could have pocketed the 1 ball in the in the right corner if he would have gone either 1 or 2 rails.
It's possible, but anyway, it's about the procedure, right? He didn't actually look like he was looking around at all.
Right.
And you'll notice, I'm sure, through this match that I'm doing all of that. I'm making sure that I don't make a mistake, even when it looks like an easy shot. I'm making sure that I get on the right side of the ball, or the right position. So let's continue watching this now. It looks, from your perspective, what do you see?
I see a lot of control, but I also see a lot of confidence. Like perhaps in this shot you could have left yourself a little bit
Less of an angle?
Less of an angle and less stretched, perhaps.
Less of a stretch, however,
Yes.
the angle part though was planned, and because it allows me to just float the ball from one position to another rather than hitting it hard.
Yeah, definitely.
Now about the speed that I'm playing at here in this particular rack.
Oh, you took your time on the shots that were needed, and then you're playing fairly fast in the shots that are a little bit less demanding from you. Like that 9 ball, you knew exactly how you wanted to hit it, and you just went ahead. And fairly enough with the 8 ball, perhaps you could have taken more possibilities, but you jumped into 1 shot.
Now I broke the balls here and I made a ball, but I drew the cue ball back a little bit more than I would have liked to have, and ended up on the back rail by the pocket with the only option as far as at the ball is really a jump shot or roll out. So you see that I'm not even looking like I'm actually trying to figure a roll out. Do you know why that is?
I believe you're going to try to do a jump shot over here, right?
A jump shot and because I see a whole bunch of possibilities of what the cue ball and the object ball can do to either make the 9 ball or to cue ball make the 9 ball or leave it safe. But it ends up I didn't get that. As far as a push out goes, there's really very few places that I could have put it that I would have wanted him to shoot it from. So if you can't put it in a place where you want him to shoot it from, and you're not going to put it any better for you than where you already are, well, you might as well take the shot that you're going to be shooting.
That was a good stroke considering that he did a fairly poor masse attempt over before. Still, he doesn't seem to be considering much the angles on which he's leaving himself.
And you'll find though that Kunihiko Takahashi is a champion, and there's a lot of great players in Japan, and he's the number one player in Japan. So there's a lot of reasons for that, and one of them is that he does shoot very well, and he makes great decisions normally. So you'll see this particular shot, he went a little bit too hard.
Right, he seems to be struggling a little bit with his position play. But nevertheless, he keeps making the shots.
Right. And this particular shot here, what do you see? Do you see many options, or to get onto the 6, to get onto the 7?
Yes. Tough. I see a couple of options, but this one...
That was executed quite well.
Yeah.
Of course, if that cue ball had gone further, he would have then had a much easier shot to get onto the 7.
Absolutely.
So he did kind of hold it a little bit too much there. Now he's going to come around 2 rails to catch the 7 in the corner by the chalk there, where I think I would have gone all the way around a little bit, not quite as steep, as close into the corner pocket with the cue ball, and come around for the 7 ball in the same pocket I shot the 6. But he ended up getting pretty good on this.
Right. Though he needs to hold that ball again.
Yeah, it's tough. We were practicing that yesterday, weren't we?
Yeah.
Shot where you throw a lot of right English at it. You basically kill it with a little bit of bottom right English, and it's tough because if you have a cue that's got lots of deflection, you end up either hitting that ball too thick, or you're not getting a draw or that kind of stuff. So it ends up being a fairly difficult shot. It's a real feel shot.
Yeah, that's true. And here Nico goes to pocket that 9 to go 1-1.
A little thick there.
A little thick, yes. And some other, I know some tables that shot would not have gone.
Right, and especially the tables yesterday at Golden Fleece Billiards, the diamond tables wouldn't have let that ball go in. But
they are not as forgiving.
Now his break, comment on his break there, his particular form and everything.
He put some power on it, not necessarily great power, but it seems like he just misses control of the ball. He just, even though he draws it back, it doesn't seem that he's in control over there. He's like guessing where he wants to be, or guessing whether he's going to even make a ball.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's very confident when he's breaking balls. And it's a very important part of the game. And you'll notice that the cue ball went close, dangerously close to the side pocket. And he jumped right up when he broke. So now let's watch him make some shots, some critical shots here. See his elbow drop a lot there, didn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
So as far as the pendulum stroke goes, would you say he's got a great pendulum stroke, a medium pendulum stroke, or no pendulum stroke at all? I
say he doesn't seem to have a pendulum stroke at all. From this angle, actually, he looks pretty good, but when he is standing up a little bit more, first of all,
that looked pretty good, didn't it?
Yes, that looked pretty good. That looked very pendulum, but in general, he seems to be having more like a piston, where he like moves even his shoulder a little bit, and.
But not there. Of course, when he's stretched, he's almost forced to have a nice stroke, isn't he?
Yeah, and he does get better positions. Maybe he should play in bigger tables. Yeah, it's not. He got much better position than in the first game where he was just struggling. Seemed like
that was all right. He's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable, it appears, and he followed through with that very nicely. Let's see how this stroke is. And that wasn't bad. His elbow stayed pretty solid there as well. He's going pretty fast though, isn't he?
Yes, he is absolutely just pointing and shooting.
And he's a quick player most of the time.
Yeah. What would you say? Would you think that quick play is an advantage or a disadvantage?
That's a very good question, and certainly that's a topic that can get an awful lot of differences of opinion in it for sure. And so that's 2-1 now for. Is it 2-1 or 2-2 there? 2-1 for Kunihiko Takahashi?
Yes, 2-1 for Kunihiko.
Okay, I don't think it's either, and it depends on the person's style. Luke Salvas is one of the fastest players alive, and he's also a player at the highest level. Yet there are very few that play at that speed, and then faster players like Mika Immonen and Earl Strickland are fast players, but they do play at the very highest level. So It depends on the person's style. Nick Varner's always been a very, very, very slow player, and he just doesn't make an awful lot of mistakes, and that's key as well, depending on the equipment we're playing on. So here he he doesn't really break them very solid, and it's wherever the cue ball's hitting the one ball, you never know, and he didn't make a ball on the break here. I think it's the only time in this set that a ball wasn't made in the break, and he's left me with a fairly easy shot. Now, from our angle here, we really can't tell what the best way to get on that 2 is. However, it's possible that if his angle is such where the one ball is slightly to the right of the line, he might be able to go forward. I might be able to go forward. And put lots of left English in the cue ball, come off the end rail, the side rail, and float over for a shot on the 2 ball. Let's see what happens here. See how the stroke is as well. Whoa, that stroke didn't look that good, did it? Oh, it looked like I almost miscued.
It did.
But I got there. That's exactly where I want to be now. It looks like a little bit of angle where the cue ball is going to come into the rail off of this on the back rail, somewhere between the middle diamond and the diamond closest to the 9 ball, which would mean I'd have to put a lot of spin on the cue ball in order to get on the 3 ball to be able to shoot the 3 ball down on the opposite corner. Let's just see whether it will go. Lots of spin on the ball.
Yeah, it didn't seem that you put much strength into that shot.
Wouldn't have to. The speed of the spin is going to come off that rail and almost speed the ball up, and then force it to go forward a little bit better. So now here, don't you see that from the 4 to the 5 could be touchy here if I don't get some angle on the 4 ball. If it's straight in, I can't get on the 5 very well.
Yes.
I have a very long shot. So I'm going to draw this cue ball back to where it is now, or slightly longer than that, just a couple inches further than that, and then I'll be perfect on the 4 ball there. Now, what do you think about my going along and actually put my cue down and stuff? What do you see an advantage to that?
I have noticed that it does help me visualize the lines much better when you actually are able to put your cue down and see that line very clearly. Then I think you're less prone to make mistakes.
And your confidence level is going to be up too, right?
Yes.
You've already been there, really, right? And so here, again, the same thing. I'm trying to find exact angle on the 6 ball so that I can get on the 7, because I want to be on the 7 straight, don't I? And I don't want to screw up by just barely getting on the 6, and then now I've got to force the ball and maybe not get on the 7 properly. So I found exactly where I want to be with the cue ball. Exactly. Pinpoint. And then now I can on the 6, and I have a much better chance of just stunning off the rail and floating right down to the back rail for the 7 ball, so I can then stay on the 8.
Yeah, and you did get up very straight on that 7.
And it makes it look easy. It looks easy, but really it was all about the 4 to the 5, to the 5 to the 6, the 6 to get to the 7. Because if I don't get perfect on that, it makes it that much more difficult for me to be able to float my cue ball in that position.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, this is actually quite interesting as well. Look, I've got a ball straight, and what in the world am I doing? Why am I taking so much time? We talked about it earlier.
Right. Well, you just want to make sure that you have the correct angle on the 8, and that you see the path is very clear.
So I don't actually flirt with the side pocket or the corner pocket after hitting the 8, correct? Because I don't really need to look where I'm looking now, I don't really need to get all the way down table to shoot that 9 ball. I just need to get past the side pocket, and I don't need to go into the side pocket if I get just the right angle on the 8. So even though I'm only shooting the 7 there, I already went to find out where I want to be on the 8. So that I can
on the 9.
On the 9, so I can figure out where I'd be on the 8, so that I can just float up there without even touching the rail, without even going near any pocket, and not taking a chance. So even at the very highest level, it's not about making difficult shots, it's about never having to. But if you are in those positions, that you can do it, but you don't want to put yourself in that position too often. So what's the score now?
I believe it's 2-2 for to tie them up. 2-2
for me right now. I'm the one breaking.
Hey, yeah, that's an advantage. I was hearing some anecdotes actually that one time I believe Mosconi was playing against another player, and the player was rocking so good, and Mosconi was up I think 10-7, and Mosconi and this other guy kept breaking and winning, and Mosconi went up and it's like I'll give you. I believe I'll let you tie the match, but if you let me break the next game. And the player refused, and the other player went on to win that game. But that's how much it can be when the player is breaking well and running out the matches. It just doesn't matter. So
well, here now I don't really have a shot to pocket the ball, so I'm playing a safety. Now the key here is not just about getting the cue ball out there somewhere, but about being precise. So you see where I'm putting the cue stick on the table. That's where it looks like I want the cue ball to come off the rail off the 1. And hit so that I can slide down behind the 9 ball. And let's just take a look. Now, I've got to really visualize the line and the speed in order to make that happen.
So over there, you just went out with right left English. I couldn't figure out how
slight left English. And it was all about how thick I hit the 1 ball as well. I don't want to hit the 3 ball. But now this position right here is almost impossible to get at that 1 ball. Even though he's got a shot off the right-hand rail, to his right here, he can go out the side. The problem with that angle is when you come off the rail from that angle, the cue ball is going to swing wide a little bit after it hits the rail. So the line is not straight from that rail, meaning that it's going to swing to the right. So if you then try to get it so you come shorter, chances of hitting the ball on the way right there, just close to the cue ball, is now very great.
Right.
So it's really a difficult position for him to be in.
And another thing I noticed is that it's close to a rail, so it's not even easy to cue
the ball.
Cue the ball very well. Like if he wanted to put very low, he would need to jack up and have a funny breach over there.
Right, and bouncing the ball a little bit.
Yes.
So that's exactly right. When you try and if you can snooker somebody in such a way that their chances of even controlling whitey is really limited, then you've gone a long way to make it difficult, almost impossible for them to hit the ball. So you see, it's hard for us to tell because there's no camera angle there, but the cue ball actually swung out a little wide, and that's why I hit the 6. I think he started. The cue ball came off the rail starting on the right line, but it would swing out.
Yeah. Was that because of the little masse that he put into the ball?
No. Because of the angle that he hits the ball at. If you practice this yourself on the table, you'll notice that when you come into an angle like that, the cue ball isn't going to. The longer the distance is, the cue ball is actually going to swing a little bit and go to the right. Now, if you hit it with bottoms, it can actually force it around the other way. I'll show you some trick shots like that when we get back to the table today.
Sure, I'm excited about it.
What thing about doing trick shots is you learn what the balls can do and can't do off of rails and as they jump and off of each other. And so here, it looks like I'm doing right. I wanted to come all the way. I saw the angle to come back. I wanted to make sure I got closer to the 3 ball so I can control that to make sure I get on the right angle for the 4 to get to the 5.
So what are you looking at right now?
I'm looking at the different kinds of angles to shoot at this ball, so that I can try and get my proximity to the object balls can be closer. So here I just rolled it in. So now I've got perfect angle really to make the 4 ball come off the rail and come back out almost to where my cue ball is now, or not quite that far. It looks like. Yeah, there we go. So now I'm not reaching too much, so I'm still getting my cue ball in a position where I just reach slightly, and I can put a nice stroke on it and control the cue ball to get to another ball to get to the ball. So it's not just about making the ball to get on the next ball. It's making the ball to get the next ball to get the next ball.
Right.
So the further away you are from the object ball, more chances you have of screwing that up, of just not getting the perfect angle on the 3rd ball. I think that a little thick.
Yes.
And so I didn't get quite the angle that I wanted here. I guess I shot that a little fast, got a little quick on that, and instead of having the angle I want, I've got more angle now. And now it looks like to me that if I went straight into it, I could maybe get there, but I'm not so sure. Right, I'm thinking that it looks to me like I'm thinking I'm going to go closer towards the side pocket with the cue ball. So it turns out that now we can't see from here, and this was 2002, right? 9 years ago. But you see, I'm jacking up, so it looks like I'm just going to try and push the ball. I'm just going to stun it and just go forward a little bit as I go a little bit further than I wanted to. So this is where my cue ball control is just starting to deteriorate slightly. Now I've got a whole bunch of options here, and I know that I see them. I can go around. I can draw to go past the side pocket, go around the table. But where the 9 ball is, it's just not quite. It's just harder to get perfect on it. So I decided to put a lot of check English, a lot of left English, and then make the ball and come on back for the 9 ball in the corner pocket.
Yeah.
And because of the angle, I really couldn't have held it there very well for the other corner. So, but I didn't come back far enough, did I?
Yeah, that seems fine. You stayed pretty low in the previous shot. You didn't move much after that shot.
And that's key. You see,
Yes.
move my arm a little bit there, but. So what's the score?
The score is 3-2.
3-2?
Yes.
3-2? Okay.
I think it's 3-2.
All right. Well, we know what the ending is anyway. So.
Yes.
All right. So far I've been getting a ball on the break from that particular side of the table. Now I hit that ball obviously not the way I wanted to. I hit that ball off the side of the 1 ball. So I know I can't read my mind right now. Again, 9 years ago, but I'm pretty sure I'm thinking, no, take a little bit more time. Make sure you're on the, make sure you're lining up to that 1 ball properly, because I got away with it that time. I made a ball and got shot in the 1 ball. I got away with it. But the balls are not spread out all that well. You see the 2 ball and 8 ball together over on the side rail by the pocket. You can see that my 1 ball is quite a ways away from my cue ball. I can make it, but I'm going to flirt with that side pocket with the cue ball, and then obviously it looks like I'm going to try and make the 1 ball come up off the rail where the 1 cue ball is now, but closer to the side pocket, and then back over to the other side, maybe clip the 2 ball a little bit and have a shot, or just be in a good position for a safety.
Yes.
So you see this one touching the rail?
Right.
Now let's see what kind of stroke it is. See if I stay down or jump up or what happens here. Pretty much stay down.
Yes, it was a good follow through on the cue ball.
I was just looking to see the billiard here, because the billiard looks somewhat on, but look at, if I shoot the billiard, I'm going kind of directly into the 2 ball before I hit the 8, and then the 2 ball is going to come back and hit the cue ball, it looks like, which then I don't know where the balls are going to go, even if I do make the 8, and that's still, I might not make the 8. So what we'd like to do as pros is we don't want to give you an inch, so I'd rather give you the table, if I'm going to give you the table, on my terms.
Right.
My terms are going to be where you're going to have to make one heck of a shot in order to get started. So I know I've decided here to play a safety. It's just about which way I'm going to play that. There's a number of ways to get over by where the 9-3 is. And so let's just take a look here. Okay, right, if I hit right there on the rail, from that rail to that rail, I can then just float down underneath the 3 ball. So it's about seeing that and visualizing it, feeling the speed, feeling the hit off the 2, and you're going to be much more concerned about the hit on the 2 or where the cue ball is going than you are about where the 2 ball is going. But I know that I'm trying to knock the 2 ball down to the other end of the table as well. However, let's just see what happens here. Okay, it hits the point of the side pocket and comes back out. But again, the cue ball, my focus on the cue ball so much, and my belief in it was so clear that I got him in an extremely difficult position here.
Yes, this is a very tough position. It almost looks like the cue ball is frozen to that 3 ball.
It does look like it's very close, and from the way I think that he's going to be looking at this, it probably is. So he's looking at the different ways of going, but he hasn't got very much. Now, if it was way down table, that 2 ball, he'd really be in a bad position. Now that it's up here on this side of the table, it makes a little bit more of a chance of hitting it. So it looks to me like he's really trying to find a reason to hit the other side, but the other ball, whatever that ball is, a 4 ball or something, looks like it's in the way. But so he's got a mass A here to get to get the ball this direction. Wow.
Yeah, but I do like the fact that he took his time this time. He did not go for just one single solution. He saw both sides and he got rewarded. Yeah,
well, he hit the ball, but unfortunately he didn't get rewarded, right? I mean, I agree, he deserves to get rewarded there. He made a very, very good shot.
He almost got rewarded though. He took his time. He got a good hit. Let's put it that way.
Right.
It was a great hit actually. It was a little bit unlucky. He did not get rewarded on that shot.
So while we have a little bit of time, there I am there now, but let's take. Obviously, it looks like I'm showing you exactly what I want to do here. Make the 2 ball and float down table for the 3 ball. I'm going to have a little bit of right English on this ball, just a hair, so that I don't hit the ball on the way. Because if I don't have any English, I really take a chance of clipping that ball and then really screwing myself. But a little bit of English, not too much, and then it's got to be the right speed. So it appears that I was fortunate, and it was just right. Now, from our view, it looks like that 4 ball only goes to the same corner as we're going to be shooting a 3 ball in. But let's take a look here. We can't see it very well. Maybe the 4 goes in the other corner. And the way it looks like I'm looking at it, it looks like because I'm definitely not going to be looking at the combination here. There's no way. I'd rather shoot the 3 and come up and hit the 4 ball a little bit and nudge it than try a combination on this ball.
Why not?
Because it's a low percentage shot, and I can just run out. I don't need to take a chance and then not know where my balls are going after, and really, leave my. I mean, one mistake, not even one mistake, at this level, in a race to 7 with big pockets against a champion, I may never shoot again.
Yes, that's true.
So now, really, it looks like it goes in the corner pocket, and I go off of 2 rails to go just past where the cue ball is now, so I have a shot at the 5 ball. And see, as you can see, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, if you would leave the cue ball where the tip of your cue was, you would be in very good shape to run this table out.
Whoa, that ball kept on going. Wow, like a boing off that back rail, and just keeps on going, and I'm like 2 feet away from where I want it to be. It's the right line, but oops, right into the 5 ball. So safety is the right play here.
Yes, I don't see a good attacking shot from this position. But why would you think that happened? Why did you overrun the position like that?
Well, again, it kind of looked like it boinged off that back rail, and those things happen sometimes. A rail being a little bit too low or lower than the rest of the rail, and it boings off. Or I just overcooked it, and it looks like that's almost impossible. I mean, really, the rest of the match, my cue ball control was pretty good, so that looks a little wrong. But here I'm going to try and go off of 3 rails, maybe even 4, right behind the 9 ball here. But it looks like I hit it a little too thick. The 5 ball came out too high, and the cue ball actually went too short on that 3rd rail, and then slid past the 9, leaving Kunihiko Takahashi a shot. Now, of course, it's a difficult shot. I've left him frozen almost to the back rail, a long distance, and he hasn't really been up shooting any balls here lately.
And I just wanted to interrupt you because he sat down. I mean, went down to shoot, but he didn't see it clear, and this is the 2nd time he's standing up.
Right.
Isn't that something?
That's very good. That's a very important thing to observe, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because obviously, as you well know, I've been pounding that into you from the first day about. Now, it wasn't the greatest of strokes there. I mean, that cue stick went flying around to the right and up in the air and everything, but he managed to make the ball and come and get a shot at the 6 ball. Now he's over top the 9 here, so he's got to jack up again and shoot another jacked up shot, but I think he's going to make it. He's just not going to shoot any English here, just center ball, so he's not going to have any deflection at all. No squirting, no deflection, and just punch the ball in the pocket and give himself a shot at the 8.
Right, and jacking up with the deflection, you could get some very interesting masses and very bad things happen.
A lot of bad things happen, very few good things. So he's just going to try and punch this into the center of the pocket, come off the rail a little bit, leave himself straight on the 8 down in this corner pocket here.
And he did.
Yeah. Well, he's a great player. In fact, he's a world champion. He won the World Championships one year, and he won the All Japan Championship. And he dominated. Hit that a little bit thin there. Huh? Missed that ball. Guess that would have been a miss at the diamond tables. Let's just see how he hits this. Yeah, that's fine. That's a nice smooth stroke.
Yeah, no, he hit that rail almost a diamond away from the pocket. So
yeah. So what is this now? 3-3?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's the last game he wins. So let's see what he does here with this break. He makes a ball. Oh yes. So now he leaves himself. He doesn't. He drew the ball all the way back. If he had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, if he hadn't made the one, he wouldn't have a. He would. It would be my table. So
yes.
It's the one ball that he made. So if he's drawing back there to get shape on the one, well, he wouldn't have been any good anyway. But he has a shot at the 2. The 2 is just above the 5 ball here.
Yeah.
And the only shot he has as far as offensive goes is either the combination on the 5, which is really very low percentage, the cut down the right-hand side corner pocket, which leaves the cue ball flying around the table, and very difficult shot to shoot. And if he, he's got chances of scratching and all that. Safeties are very difficult here. Just really, it's nothing is set up in a way that it's going to be a half decent safety. In fact, even if he tries to rub off the 2 ball and come up behind somewhere around the 6-8 there, he's going to leave the 2 ball pretty much over the pocket, the corner pocket. So it's very, very, very difficult. I see him as actually having to try to shoot this ball in the pocket after he looks at it and looks at it and looks at it. I feel for him because he really hasn't had an awful lot of great opportunities.
Oh yes, but he does need to work on his break. He needs to get more confidence and just for the beginners like me, where would you like the cue ball to be after the break?
Well, most of the time, and it depends on how the balls react on that particular table, but most of the time you're going to want to control the cue ball so that it doesn't, he went off the 2, off the rail, off the 5 and scratched, and even if he made the 2, he's still screwed, and he was so close to the pocket that he still might have scratched even if he had made the 2 ball. So I know that he was not feeling very good about that whole shot, and I don't blame him. It was very, very difficult. So yeah, you want to control the cue ball so that the only reason it's going to get moving around is if another ball comes and hits it.
Yes.
Rather than it's going to go flying into a pocket. From a top player's perspective, it's a mortal sin to have that cue ball go off the 1 ball and directly into a pocket without being hit. That's a mortal sin. That's your own mistake.
Yeah.
You draw it into the side or the corner, or it goes flying over to the other side pocket. Those are mortal sins.
Mm-hmm. So in general, you would want to have the cue ball probably in the center or close to where it actually contacted the 1 ball or something like that, right?
Well, no, a little bit back behind that. Somewhere in the center of the table, but closer to where you're breaking from, rather than down into where all the balls are flying around.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because if you go to the other side, bad things can happen, right? You could get kicked into a pocket rather than going directly.
That's correct. And a better hit on the balls is when you hit the cue ball slightly below center or even all the way. So a draw shot, drawing the ball off the 1 ball is way better at the same speed than, for example, let's say you compare 22 miles an hour draw, 22 miles an hour topspin, 22 miles an hour draw, although not a very big, powerful shot, would be a better reaction on the balls and better control of the cue ball than going forward.
Yeah.
You can't, that's really hard to control that. So now I'm just trying to, obviously, just don't make any mistakes. Keep it simple. Don't try and do anything too fancy. You don't have to get perfect on the 5 ball. Just the next ball is so now because of this angle, I just make that ball and float off the rail straight up table for the 6 in the same corner. I don't have to do anything. No English, no anything. Just a nice, easy shot. Just come past the side, the center of the table a little bit. Very easy shot to shoot. Now just roll this ball in, and I've got the ball on the side to do whatever I want to do to get onto the 8 to get position on the 9.
How do you control the speed on the table? Like, how do you measure how much with the cue ball travel and how much strength, force you're gonna put onto it?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. Basically, the way I teach, it's about how far you bring the cue stick back as you're pulling the cue stick back from the cue ball.
Yes.
And then before you go forward, that distance that you start that cue tip off from the cue ball, is what's going to create your Q-tip speed if you have a good pendulum stroke. And so instead of trying to force the power into it, just have as much power as you need to get the job done by having the cue stick start a certain distance away from the cue ball. And that will vary depending on the amount of speed you want. See, there I came almost 3/4 of the way back to my hand with the Q-tip before I pulled the trigger and went forward, because I needed to hit it fairly firm.
Yes.
Not real hard, but fairly firm. Now here, I like that too. I like that kind of a shot. You want to hit a firm shot into the 9-ball so that you don't take a chance of skidding or the elbow flying out, get a little scared. It's nice, solid, confident stroke.
Yeah, I feel it for Kuniko as he scratched after this awful position that he was on, and that cost him the game.
Don't forget now the scratch. Then also the time we didn't make a ball in the break,
Yes.
and the time where he. That's a little bit different from me. That's not normal for my cue ball to go that close to the side pocket. After that would have been a mortal sin.
Yes.
It turned out that I made a ball, and I can see the one. I don't believe it goes into the corner pocket or anywhere, so I've got to play a safety. Now there's not that many safeties to choose from here. However, I can hide both the 1-ball and the cue ball here at the same time. This is one way, goes somewhere like that.
That's where you're pointing the 1-ball to go?
No, that was and then leaving the cue ball behind. But here now I'm pointing towards where the cue ball is going, and I'm seeing if I hit the 1-ball thin enough, I can knock it off the side rail behind the 3, and the cue ball goes off of 2, 3 rails behind the 2. So one way or the other, I can get him snookered, and actually difficult for him to get anywhere near the balls, possibly. So I think that's what I'm going to choose here.
You are
Still
taking a long time.
It's all about really visualizing, finding the right solution, visualizing it properly, commit to it, believing in it, and if you have some doubt, then you just so that's what I've done, is I've made the cue ball, the 1-ball go one bank onto the side, and the cue ball was right speed, just maybe I hit a little bit too much right English and I ended up coming into the 2 instead of past the 2. But I have left Takahashi in another very difficult position here.
Yes.
So besides the positions that I've left him at, he's also done a couple of things that's hurt his chances of winning this match. Not that they were forced mistakes, but they still happened. So when he's come to the table, the situations were not very good, and it's difficult to win a match like that. So, if you can see the 1-ball at all there, you can clip it on left side, but that's really, what is he going to accomplish by that? So he's decided to try and kick this ball in, and I understand that. Boom, and he makes the ball off into the other corner pocket, which is kind of neat. So now we're even. And I did one as well in the very first game.
Yeah,
and
he flipped that one.
2-ball from where he's standing, it looks like it's one of the 2 balls there near the side pocket on the other side, and it looks like it doesn't go anywhere. So he's got to make a decision on what to do with this, whether he plays safe, and it still looks like it's very difficult safety as well. So maybe the bank to the corner. My goodness, he's just, even when he gets a lucky break, he still hasn't got much of a lucky break, does he?
Oh, yeah. Good news, bad news. Good news, you made the ball. Bad news, you're still in a bad shape.
Yeah. So even if he plays this where he tries to hold Whitey there, chances are very good that the 2-ball is going to come out somewhere on the other side of the table and leave me a shot. So it's very, you got to feel for him. Things have not been going his way here. Of course, while I'm sitting in the chair, that's not what I'm thinking about. What do you think I'm thinking about when I'm sitting in the chair, Christian?
Well, I would think that you're probably just focusing on your own mistakes and what you can improve, and just coaching yourself towards your next chance at the table, so that you would not leave the table.
Correct. Yeah, it's about that chair that you're sitting in can either be one of two things. It can either be at your coach's corner, or it could be what most people end up having it as, and that is their electric chair. So what you want to do is, if you can, while you're sitting down, you want to prepare yourself so that when you come back to the table, that you are even better than when you left it. So here, in this situation here, we see that I've got a shot, but from our perspective, it looks like that looks like it's straight in, and the 3 ball is going to be hard to get on. So let's take a look and see what how I'm looking around the table. Maybe we can figure out. Oh, well, go ahead. You start talking here. Looks like
it looks like you have a little angle, so you could roll forward rather 1, 2 rails towards that 3, but it's from where you were looking at, it didn't seem that it attracted you, so I think you are more inclined to go 1, 2, 3 rails and come off and either kick that 3 ball out of there and try to get position into one of the corners, or miss the whole 3 altogether and get the 3 ball a position for a 3 ball in the left corner.
Well, that's correct, but look at it. I mean, my goodness, my cue ball is almost frozen to the rail there.
Yes, you got a very good stroke here.
Can I shoot this ball without any English to do that?
I don't think so. I think you do need to put a little bit of left English, because I don't think the angle you have is well. You do need a little bit of left English to bounce off the rails, just like that.
And you're right. Instead of trying to land in that spot, it looks to me that I decided to go all the way around, and if I hit the 3 ball, I would probably still have a better shot than on it than if I tried just to float in behind it and not knowing where my cue ball was. Plus, I could put a better stroke on it, and the worst scenario would still be a good scenario, as long as I make the ball, of course, and don't scratch.
That's important.
Yeah. So off the rail, lots of English. Well, it sure is good to have a cue stick that doesn't have much deflection, like a Kevin DeRue shaft. So that's the finals of the women's side, with Kunihiko Takahashi, the dominant force in Japan Pro Pool, lost actually in the finals. I can't remember the girl's name who beat her, and I don't remember her ever winning a tournament before, so I was really excited.
I think you said Kunihiko Takahashi. You meant...
Oh, sorry, Akimi Kajitani. So sorry. Yes. Kunihiko hasn't been a girl for some time.
I would hope so. Otherwise, he's playing the wrong division.
I guess. So here we go. It's about just figuring out where my cue ball wants to be, so that I don't have to really work hard. So draw the cue ball back up about 4 inches, so that I've got the right angle for the 5 ball. So all I have to do is just make the 5 in the corner pocket, knowing this go off 1 rail, 2 rail, bouncing towards the 6 ball. And so I'm just looking at all the different possibilities. Should I go all the way past the 6, forward in the other side of the corner? Or should I just float it into the center of the table so that I have it in the side, and if I go too far, I still got it in the corner? I think that's pretty much what I decided, which was probably what I thought about before I even shot the last shot. But I still wanted to make sure by looking at everything, so I don't make the mistake of actually not seeing the best opportunity, best choice. So I went a little further than I wanted to.
Yes, this seems like a little bit complicated angle, as you can either make it into the side, but I think into the corner, but it seems like you're going for the side. You're also looking at the corner, but you decide to go for the side, and you're just going to hold the cue ball with a little bit of draw over there.
I even held it more than I think because I wanted, because it didn't look like it hold it that much, and so I ended up going not far enough, and I don't have now the 9 in the side pocket. I'm going to have to. Now it looks like to me like I've got an angle where I can go 2 rails, or I can go 1 rail. And I think I'm going to try and stun the ball over to where that chalk is, and then have a V coming right towards the 9 ball, just like that.
Nice.
I'm online the entire time, and
right.
I just have to, just basically almost stop the ball. So watch the stroke back and stop. So what's the score now? Is it 5-3 or is it?
It is 5-3.
Oh, again, I'm flirting with that side pocket a little bit. That's very unusual for me. But maybe at that time I had decided that it was better to hit that side of the 1 ball and not hit it very hard, and I can still make a ball and get out. So as you see, I'm not hitting the ball very hard right now, and that's a common thing. If I've determined I want to make the wing ball anyway, now I'm just going to control the 1 ball, cue ball and the 1 ball. So this is a little bit tough. Actually, I think it's 6-3.
Yes, that's correct. That's 6-3.
And a race to 7, that's a good place to be in, but it's not. It's never guaranteed, especially against these champions. Kunihiko Takahashi ran 7 racks on me one time at the All Japan Championship. I had him 7-1, and he was the defending champion. And this is the last 8 to go into being the last 4. And I was up 7-1. He runs 7 racks on me, and then misses an easy shot. Well, not an easy shot. What am I saying? He missed a very difficult shot. He shouldn't have played.
Yes.
And on the 1 ball, and I ran out the set to win 11-7, 11-8. Sorry.
Yeah, you can never discard a good champion in any position.
Do not give them an inch. Not an inch. So because I've been playing well, and my vision lines has been very, very clear, I think I've decided to make the combination here. And as it looks like, I'm not looking for other options here. I'm decided on this ball.
There are big rewards on it. You just need to make sure that you make the ball.
Yeah. So as you can see here, I'm pointing at a position on the rail. There we go, right there. And that's what I'm going to shoot the 2 ball into. Because I find if I shoot the 2 ball into that rail, the 9 ball, where the 9 ball is on that line, is just the right position for it to then slide into the corner pocket.
That's a very interesting methodology. I've heard about it before, but I've never really noticed any top player using it. But until now, probably just because I haven't looked for it before.
Well, it depends on a lot of things. I've got to cut this ball back. I'm trying to shoot a round ball into a round ball. It's much easier for me to shoot this into a position on the rail at where the 9 ball just sits there.
Yes.
And be confident of that. And trying to shoot a ball into a ball from that angle. So there we go. I ended up 7-3. There we go. And this was a JPBA Pro-Am event. I'm not going to tell you how much money that was, because it was nowhere near what you think it would be if you were figuring the numbers, and I don't really want to make anybody look bad. But it was thanks to the Sayatama Cable Television Network for putting this thing together.
Great, and that concludes this video, and thanks for listening. I hope you have learned as much as I have. All right, goodbye.